Hey everybody, in the video we did with the huge bounty I asked, which candy bar do you want me to blow up next? Most chose Twix. Well, let's cook the most gigantic Twix. First, let's see what's inside it. We open it up. Got it. And we see a layer of cookies, then caramel, and milk chocolate on the outside. Now let's go to the store. The first thing we need is condensed milk. More precisely, it is an unrealistically large amount of condensed milk. We need 215 cans. We also take a lot of powdered sugar, 6 boxes. We need 55 kilograms of flour, 3 boxes of margarine, 12 bottles of eggs, and there are 20 eggs in each bottle. And of course, milk chocolate. That's it. With 2 fully filled carts, we go to the checkout. Our purchase came out to $574. That's not very cheap, but we're preparing a huge Twix. First, let's prepare the cookies for our Twix. We take 16 packs of margarine in a large saucepan. We open the margarine. And dump it into the saucepan. We filled it to the top. Just put that on the stove and wait until all the margarine melts and becomes liquid. To knead a lot of dough, we take a huge basin like this. You need 30 kilograms of flour. We open the packages with scissors. And pour out all the flour. Take the melted margarine off the stove and pour it out. We take the boxes of powdered sugar, open them, and 1.5 boxes are sent into the basin. All we have left to do is add 120 eggs, or 6 bottles of eggs. To mix all this up well, we use an industrial standing mixer. The dough is very thick, and your hands get tired from holding the mixer, but nevertheless, everything's ready. The Twix sticks will be made in these iron forms. First, pour a little oil inside. Smear it around on the walls. And cover that with parchment. Done. We lower the forms to the floor. We put the dough directly into the mold with our hands. We line everything up. And we've already filled out one form. Now you need to repeat the same thing with the second one. Done. We put the forms of the dough in our huge oven. We close the doors And turn on the burners. Our cookies will be cooked all night at 190 degrees. We swapped the molds places during the night because the burners are cooking faster in spaces. As it seemed to us in the morning, everything's ready. We put a sheet of plywood on top and turn it over. But then the worst thing happened. It turns out our cookies were not baked at all night. Of course, we were upset, but we did everything again. This time the cookies were baked all day and all night. Naturally, during such a long cooking time, the top was burnt. But it's not a problem. With the help of knives, we remove the upper burnt layer. Done. The cookies are cleaned. The open part on top will be the bottom of the Twix. We take a small part of the chocolate that we bought. We take 2 bowls and just crush the chocolates on the table. Open them and pour out the shards into a bowl. We continue this until they fill the bowl with a heap. We put all this into a steam bath. And when the chocolate began to melt and decrease in volume, we realized that this wouldn't be enough. We take another batch of chocolate and fill a bigger bowl with it. And we also send that to the steam bath. We bring the molds into the studio. The first batch of chocolate is already melted. Pour 2 bowls on top of the cookies. And we distribute the chocolate. Pour a large bowl of chocolate into the second mold. And we distribute that. After a very long time, the chocolate finally set. We put a sheet of plywood on top and turn over the cookies for Twix. We remove the stuck parchment. And this time the cookies turned out to be just awesome. With the help of putty, Dad smears the inner corners of the mold so that it becomes more rounded. Then we cover everything with parchment. We transfer them to the studio, and the next stage begins, the caramel for the Twix. For the caramel, powdered sugar is needed, and just an unreal amount of condensed milk. We open the packages, take out 5 cans, and open them. We will cook in 2 pans at once. We open 10 cans. Pour the condensed milk into the pans. Add a ladle of powdered sugar. And cook it all over medium heat until a brown caramel turns out. We send that into the mold. We will repeat this process a ridiculous number of times. We cooked the caramel, and the condensed milk burned down very slowly. In total, we cooked the caramel for 9 hours. We fill the caramel into the third of the molds. That should be enough. We line it up. Now the caramel has been in the freezer all night. We take it out, pull it out of the mold, and place it on top of the cookies. We remove all the stuck parchment from the caramel. Now we take all the chocolate that we bought, and even found dark chocolate after the last videos. We put a hefty saucepan on the table, and break all the chocolates right into it. Done. Now we take 3 smaller bowls and fill them with the chocolate pieces. We put them into a steam bath to melt. Done. The chocolate melted and became a liquid. Now let's pour this on top of the bar. We smear all this around the spatula so that the chocolate layer turns out to be even. We pour out all the melted chocolate. And fill the bowls with chocolate again. We melt it, and we try to fix all the blemishes on it. For the final filling, we add oil, and mix it well. Thanks to this, our chocolate will spread very beautifully and be glossy. Fill it in. Now we go around with a spatula, and with a spoon we make characteristic grooves on top. The second Twix stick is also covered. And we make our grooves. When the chocolate is set, our giant Twix is ready. It weighs 220 kilograms. It took 5 days to prepare it, and there are 1,078,000 calories in it. That's crazy how much. Let's finally cut into it. Hello everybody, today we will cook chicken for $10, $50, and $100. So, the first most standard set of products is worth $10. First, sprinkle the chicken with seasonings and dry garlic. Now let's open a good mayonnaise and pour it into a bowl. Here we're going to squeeze out some spicy mustard, salt, and mix well. Now let's fill a syringe with this mixture in advance and rub the rest into the chicken. We'll put it onto a stand and squirt it directly into the meat. This method greatly accelerates the pickling of the chicken. That's it, you can shove the chicken into the oven. Set it to 200 degrees and wait 1 hour until it's baked. Done. Let's take it out of the oven. We're left with a pretty standard chicken. I think everyone would absolutely love this. Now let's try the most delicious part, the leg. As you would expect, it's delicious. The next set of products cost $50. Here we have flour, homemade broiler chicken, Ariane, corn syrup, cactus fruits, 10 liters of oil, and spices. The basis of the marinade will be Iran. We open up the bottles and pour these into a high container. Here, for spiciness, we'll add a lot of red pepper. For the smell, we add black pepper and dried ginger. Of course, salt. And now mix up our marinade. Suck this all up into a syringe. And first of all, fill the breast. As well as the lower legs. We put the chicken into a bowl and pour the remaining marinade in. Turn it breast side down so that most of the meat is in the marinade. We'll leave this in the fridge for 5 hours so that the marinade penetrates well. After this, we pour some flour and some durum wheat into a gastric capacity. We take the already marinated chicken, dip it back into the marinade, shake off any excess amount of liquid, and transfer it into the gastric capacity. Sprinkle with flour on all sides. In a bowl with the marinade, add a dollop of water to increase the volume. So it's time to dip the chicken into the marinade. It needs to get completely wet. Add another layer of breadcrumbs. Repeating this process, we make a third layer. Done. And now it's time to fill a cauldron with oil. Cover it up with a lid so that it heats faster, and now chop some wood. And now we're going to light a fire. We lower the chicken into the moderately heated oil. It should barely boil, because such a large volume of meat should have time to cook inside. After 20 minutes, we take out the chicken with a brown crust from the deep fryer. Done. I think very many people have eaten such a chicken. It turned out really crispy. You haven't forgotten about the cactus fruit, have you? We're going to make a sweet and sour sauce from them. If we cut the fruit in half, we will see the ripe pulp inside. We also cut the remaining ones. If the fruit is ripe, then the pulp is easy to get out, so we dump it into the saucepan. Top that off with the juice of 1 lemon. Add a little water and put it on the stove. Boil for 10 minutes. And add some corn syrup. Mix this with the rest of the ingredients. Now we just need to thicken it with starch. Our sauce is almost ready. It remains to be wiped through a sieve so that all of the bones in it remain. That's it, the tropical sweet and sour sauce is ready. Let's cut a piece of our crispy chicken. Dip it in the sauce and taste. It is freaking delicious. We're going to turn to the most royal set of products for today for $100. We've got artichoke, soy sauce, truffle honey, red wine, truffle, Brussels sprouts, mini peppers, mini carrots, oringo mushrooms, caviar, cream, and gold leaf. This is an imitation gold leaf because with the real $100, we would definitely not have been able to get some. Well, the most unusual thing is this blue chicken. The breed is called Chinese silk chicken. It has blue skin and black bone. So let's start with the marinade. Pour the red wine into a bowl. Here is some soy sauce so that the marinade is salty. For sweetness, we use truffle honey. Let's take a tablespoon and mix it up so that the honey dissolves in the marinade. As with the previous chickens, we'll stuff it with the marinade. And completely immerse it in the marinade. We leave this all in the fridge for 5 hours. After which we stuff the chicken into a bag and vacuum it shut. We're gonna fix this chicken sous vide style. We also have some mini carrots. Let's cut off their tails and stuff them into a bag as well. And vacuum. The same action is repeated with Brussels sprouts and mini bell peppers. Now everything's ready. Now let's pour some hot water into the sous vide. We put everything inside. So we're going to constantly maintain a temperature of 70 degrees. After 10 minutes, we take out the cabbage and peppers. And then after another 5 carrots, pour some oil into a frying pan and pour out all the vegetables into it. Fry them on high heat for just a couple of minutes. And then add the haricot mushrooms. When the vegetables are covered with a crust, add some little red wine, a little truffle honey, salt, and cover the vegetables with resulting glaze. Done. Now we'll make some truffle tortillas. We need some flour, boiling water, salt, and we take some black truffle out of a jar. This is not the most expensive truffle, but for tortillas it's more expensive to use, and there's no point. We're going to cut it on the grater. A little olive oil, and knead the dough. Done. We divide this into 6 identical pieces with a knife. Each piece is sprinkled with flour and rolled out with a rolling pin. And to make the shape perfectly round, we use an iron ring. We made 6 of these bad boys. Now fry them in a frying pan. The cake starts to inflate, so it's time to turn them over. We put the finished tortillas on a plate and cover them with a towel so that they remain soft. We're gonna fry all of our tortillas like this. Done. Now it's time for some artichoke sauce. We open up the jar and see the already peeled artichoke pulp, which is what we need. We dump them into a bowl and turn it into a puree using an immersion blender. Salt, and pour in some heavy cream. We repeatedly immerse this with our blender. Pour the almost ready sauce onto a flat plate, turn on the smoke generator, and ignite some wood chips. We're going to want to collect more of this smoke under the hood. Now we wait 15 minutes for the smoke to settle on the surface of the sauce. That's it, the artichoke sauce with the aroma of smoke is ready. The chicken was cooked for 4 hours in sous vide and it is definitely ready. We open it up and plate it. Now you need to decorate the chicken with some gold leaf. It sticks easily to a wet surface. And we even it out with a brush. Then we cut off some smaller pieces and cover all the gaps with it. We put the golden chicken on a dish, then our artichoke sauce, and mini vegetables in a glaze. Also, I read in the cookbook that caviar goes well with the chicken. Therefore, we open a jar of red caviar and pour it into a small bowl. And finally, our truffle tortillas. For $100, we get not just a chicken, but a full-fledged dish. But how is it? So we take one of the tortillas, put some sauce on it, some vegetables in there, and most importantly, a piece of the chicken. And then on the flatbread. The meat of the chicken is much darker and denser, so let's cut a couple more pieces. And in the end, red caviar. We're left with a very beautiful taco.